First card we play 2 Prosperity. You'll see the third one in the side deck. This is just for siding patterns, really. I feel like 3 Prosperity is insanely needed. I never missed it once. Then we play the whole reason to play the deck. We play 3 Spyral Resort. This card is the reason you're going to be cooking a lot of the decks in this format, specifically just because they can't target you. Which, the thing is, when it comes to Pearly, you can sit down and be like, hey, like, what makes that deck good? And one of the best reasons Pearly is even like a decent rogue pick is specifically because they have straight Pearly Street. So I figured, hey, why don't I play a deck that has the same field spell targeting protection, but it's just infinitely better. Spyral Resort is a Rhoda. It recycles your resources, it's follow-up, and it's targeting protection. This card is insane. You need to play it. And that's why I play Terraforming, and then 3 more copies of Resort. You could technically count that as a copy of Resort. Rainbow Bridge, if you have a way to discard it. And then the Brick Cobalt Eagle. So overall, I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, technically 8 copies of Resort. I was thinking of playing set rotation. The problem being is, in order to do that, I would have to play a lot of non-engine, and I just was not okay with that. I have to play like 0 non-engine, more or less. Because I'm already playing, I would say, the average amount of hand traps you need this format. So to cut down on those felt really bad. Especially because the deck is already pretty much a win more deck going first anyway. So I just felt like set rotation wasn't needed. And other than that 1 brick in the 4th round on Thursday, I never needed it. You almost never brick with this deck if you know how to play. Unironically, this is your 1 card starter, even though it technically is not a 1 card starter. What I mean by this is if you have any other monster in your hand, this will get you full combo on its own. So debate whether you think that's a 1 card combo or not. It's really the only card in the deck that can do it. The majority of this deck is a 2 card combo deck, so quick fix. Best card you want to brick on, but it's a card you don't want to see. And what I mean by that is if you see no other engine and just this in your hand with like 2 hand traps, you're still not out of the duel because you can normal search car, link Haribo, car special, search another car for follow-up, go into SP, and then end on 2 hand traps or whatever, which I ended up doing. And I think I won my 2nd game against Branded Chimera, which was the 3rd round doing that. Which was impressive in my opinion. So, quick fix. One of the best cards in the deck. I just do not like to see it on its own or with a combination of exactly anything but Machine Dupe. This is a 2 card combo, obviously. This is your advantage combo. If you pull this off and it's not hand trapped, you pretty much should be winning the game. You're going to get a crap load of resources and go, I think, like +6, +7, like something really stupid. Another 2 card combo with, get rid of quick fix, he doesn't really pair with anything anymore. But another 2 card combo that you need to be utilizing is this. If you're really down bad, drone plus machine dupe can get you to full combo. In some ways it's better than the quick fix. And the reason for that is sometimes when you do quick fix plus machine dupe, you can't actually get your drone in rotation to see the top 3 cards, so you're forced to instead put 2 quick fix into double helix and then go quick fix to summon. So you should have already searched a drone off a quick fix, and then you go quick fix to summon itself, pitch the drone, and then you search the car if you don't already have it, and then you summon the drone, you activate the effect, and then you helix. The problem with that I don't like is it plays really heavy into Nib, because what's really cool about this deck, while it has no way of preventing Nib from hitting it, it can, in a lot of situations, play through it, and I'll go through that a bit more when I get to the other utility cards. Okay, and then another 2 card combo is Super Agent and Drone. This is really nice. I chose to max out on Agent. Typically I play 4 copies, in the sense that I play Rhoda. I just didn't have space for it. This is like arguably your most reliable and best combo in my opinion, especially if you have Resort up. You're just not losing to Imperm your entire combo. And depending on how much you respect that card, you can end on a minimalist board of like double Helix Sleeper with Trap, which honestly is like just decent on its own. Like in my opinion, it's probably beating most decks on its own. Time for bricks, which aren't even like hard bricks, which I appreciate. Last Resort has utility. Sleeper has utility if you see it, and so does Utility Wire. Utility Wire is arguably the worst just because it's not live. Turn 1 or turn, if your opponent goes first, it's not live. Turn 2 either. But there are engine requirements, you have to play it. Utility Wire is a good way to play around talents, and it's also a good way to start the next turn. If you think your opponent's on nothing, you can just Utility Wire a monster and then call monster on your turn. So yep, pretty standard. Then another 2 gear, we play Car. Car is pretty nice. I like this a lot, specifically because my line that I try to play around Nib with, you always play into Nib, but play through Nib rather, is you pretty much want to hold this as long as physically possible, and when you search off quick fix, if you already have discard fodder for the quick fixes to come back, search the trap. Because now, if you also have Sleeper, you're just gaming, you're just playing through Nib. It literally just does not matter. Because what you do is, if you get hit with Nib, you're like, okay, cool. I'll bring out double Helix. And now my trap is live. And then I can summon Sleeper. Now I have a double pop, a bounce, and follow-up with Helix. And if you search 2 cards, which you should be doing, these 2 should be in your hand turn 1. 1 you should be using, and 1 is follow-up. That way, if you do get hit with a Nib, you can end on a minimalist board and still have insane follow-up for the crackback. And I think that's what I was doing wrong when I was playing this deck, was I was playing it like a glass cannon deck, and I feel like you just cannot afford to do that. You have to value your follow-up, and you have to value playing around specific hand traps. But fortunately with Resort, takes the guesswork out of like Moonlit, Veiler, and Perms. Also a lot of like weird engine cards like Fenrir aren't very effective. They could try to take out your like other cards, but like on average you want your Spyral stuff. Like I'm completely okay with my other part of the boards being broken, but Spyral is what you should be prioritizing. Hand traps, so we play 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 2 Crow, and 3 Imperm. So all of these are super standard. I'm not expecting a lot of mirror matches, so like I'm okay putting these in. Ash is by far a mandatory card. I know people don't like playing it because of Hida, and in the Snake Eye matchup they can kind of make Princess a little bit easier. But you have to understand that with Despia in the format, with a card called Gimmick Puppet that just says go kickstart a landmine, you lose the game. You need a way to counter it, and these were 5 cards that I used. Funny enough, my round 1 on Thursday was against Despia. They tried to Gimmick Puppet me, and I had the Crow, so it's pretty great. Reason I play 2 Crow in the main, that's probably the weirdest hand trap you guys see, and that's just because I can search both of them. Either one of them is going to be discard fodder for quick fix, or I just have 2 hand traps that I just searched on my turn that are insanely good. If Snake Eye tried to use Flameberg, you better hope you have more than 2 targets in the grave, bucko, because if you don't, I'm hitting one of them and the card will resolve with that effect. Yeah, Voiceless is by far probably the best, because when you have 2 Crow, they just cannot play the game. They go Diviner, send Trius effect, tribute for cost. Cool. I'll hit the apologies, my tripod seems to be moving a bit here. I'll just hit the Diviner out of grave. GG's, dude. Yeah, so I'm really happy with the main deck. I would not change anything. If I was going to change something about this deck list, it would specifically be the side deck, which I'm going to get into in a minute here. Yeah, so 40 cards. There's never a reason to play this deck at plus 40. If you do, you're a bot. Please go back to school and learn math. Okay, so XC's cards here. 2 Recital Starling. You make this very scarily. You make this a lot. It depends on what kind of board you're going for. There's about 3 or 4 different boards you can make depending on what your opponent's playing or what resources you have and what are you valuing most. Against certain decks, you have to value the glass cannon approach just because you need every single interaction. So in those situations, Recital Starling's kind of nice. Searching Crow, and even if you don't make 2, Searching Crow in a grind game is pretty impactful. Disobedient Bird. What's really cool is this card is insane for like if they don't respect you enough and they don't respect Zeus and they keep something in defense. This is a very easy way to Zeus through interruptions because you just go bang into, I don't know, let's pretend that they have a pop or something crazy like that. You go Fucho, you attack into something, you take the damage, you go Zeus, and then you Zeus before they can pop. Pretty nice. Downard, and then we play Zeus. I mean, Zeus is pretty standard, I guess, for a lot of lists. I mean, this deck can play it decently well. I am considering whether I cut one of these for assembled, but the problem is 2 DD Crow just comes up way too much to the point where even if I don't search them, just having one is a pretty good interruption. So next I play Evil Zeus. Typhon has not come up in a single tournament, so if you don't have it, you could play like a Nightmare Phoenix or something, or another Nightmare card. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of dog water. It is pretty good, I think, in theory. If something is untargetable, you'll have a decently hard time hitting them. So, yeah. Links, we play Link Rebo Anima. Never made Anima, so I might consider taking that out. But I feel like it's a pretty decent card. I don't know. IP Masquerena, she's a part of your end board. I probably wouldn't trade her out for anything. 1 SP Little Knight, self-explanatory. And then for the last Link 2, we play 2 Double Helix. I think that's the most expensive card of the deck. The deck itself will still run you, I think, like definitely under $100. Assuming you have the extra deck stuff. But Helix, I think, are like 15, 20s. They're probably not even that much now. Helix is just an insane card. Thing you need to be aware of, though, is if you get impermed, there are a lot of game states where if you try to make an Appaloosa with, not Appaloosa, sorry. If you have a trap set and they go to imperm Helix and you don't have Resort, you have to be careful because the trap is no longer alive. Because its effect to be treated as super agent is just that, it's an effect. So depending on certain game states, especially if it comes up the most, I think, when you've been Dark Rulered. Because if you've been Dark Rulered, it also shuts off your trap, which is kind of rough. But one of the reasons I chose this deck, because I don't think anyone's really playing it too much. So famous last words, I guess. And then for the Link 4s, we play Appaloosa Access Code. Access Code is a really good card in this deck. Specifically, I don't even think I banished it off Prosperity. It comes up that much. Because normally your board is something like this. And then you have Sleeper Hero Trap there, right? So what's really cool is Appaloosa is not only a card that's stopping their turn, but it's actually also preventing them, enabling you to kill them on the crackback. Because when it's your turn, you just go Appaloosa, and I don't know, just for the sake of argument, let's just say we've never used RIP. We just go into access code. We go effect, target Appaloosa. It has 63. And then with our sleeper, that's game on board. So navigating lethal is extremely easy thanks to access code. And honestly, even without it, it's not super complicated. What's a really cool thing that you people need to be aware of is actually, before I do that, I'll show you the last card. It's Goddess. What's a really cool thing to do in time is if you have Last Resort, the secret effect of Last Resort that nobody reads is that you can actually send a card from your field to the graveyard, and the monster it's equipped to, it can actually attack directly. This comes up in a lot of game states where people are attempting to wall against you. I know for like Voiceless, or sorry, against a Drytron matchup I had, they tried making double Fucho when they had, I think, like 1,600 life points, and they thought that would save them. And I was like, sorry, bucko, I'll just Last Resort and attack you for game. And yeah, he didn't give me any GGs afterwards. So yeah, Last Resort, secret effect, pay attention to it. Comes up a decent amount. If you can just use the effect and then go to your battle phase, you're in a very good position. Okay, so last but not least, we'll go into the side deck. In my opinion, I think the side deck is the most incomplete. I still need to swap out a few things. First up, we got Droll. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think this card's good enough to main. Problem being is for the regional, I might consider maining it just because nobody's respecting it. And in formats where people don't respect Drolls, when you typically see the most degenerate, like, BS. Then we play one Spyral Tough. I have such a hate-love relationship with this card. Anyone who knows me knows that this deck is like one of my easily top 5, and I hate playing this card. It is missing exactly one thing to make this card good, and that's a special summon condition. This has 0 special summoning conditions. You have to either normal summon this or summon it off Helix. Both suck. You do not want to be wasting a normal summon on this card because it just screams, "Out me, please." And like, you could argue, oh, it's just a Pancratops. It's not a Pancratops. You normal summon it. And then if it gets removed, then you're just like down bad for no reason. And then if you summon it off your Helix, you better hope you have full combo, big boy, because like summoning a Tough just doesn't break a board on its own. I don't know, just to go into a little bit of a rant there. But you kind of have to play it because it's just so good that it can come up in grindier matches when you're going second for sure. So as much as I hate on him, he does come up quite a lot. He's pretty good at removing floodgates. Specifically if you can somehow make a double Helix while under a TC Boo, I guess. But like even then, like he's a warrior, you're still locked out. But like Rivalry is icken out, Gozen's icken out a summon limit, I guess. So I don't know. I think it's an alright card. It's just an in-engine out to stuff. I'll show the siding patterns after, and I'll kind of explain why I play Tough, even though I don't think it's very good. 2 Moonlit, you play for time, mostly. Because in theory, the way I see it is if we're going down to like a couple minutes left in the round and I moonlit them, they might be hesitant to use that monster as link material, or synchro, whatever. So they might actually end up passing, which can give me a chance to attack for lethal. We then play 1 Prosperity. I feel like this is just a really cool card, just based on the siding patterns of the deck. You typically want to be playing Prosperity, just because I think it's the 5th or 6th card. I would have to double check. And then we play 1 Duster, or well, I guess we should, 1 Called By and then 1 Duster. Called By has never come up, but you have to play it. You have to have something for Droll. I just felt like Crossout was just like not good enough as a going first card in this deck. Because even if you get Drolled, there's a decent amount of line. Like, people think this deck just passes to Droll. And if they think that, I am more willing to let them think that, because that gives me an advantage. It by no means is a deck that can just play through Droll easily. You can end on interruption, but it's very hand dependent. So I just felt like when I was siding in crossout, just the amount of times I was testing it, I either had a way to end on multiple interruptions and follow up, or just a couple interruptions with hand traps or something like that. So I just felt like the crossouts weren't necessary. We play evenly. I think evenly is really good. I think nobody's respecting it. So I felt like it was a pretty solid back row removal. I'm respecting stun decks specifically. They're really the only deck that can just shut this deck down from playing completely. Yeah, so I have to respect those. And the last card, which in my opinion should have been Summon Limit, is Duster or Featherstorm. Yeah, I mean, there is a cool interaction where you could, like, I'm pretty sure if you, like, your opponent goes Lightning Storm, you can, like, chain this, and then, like, it gets destroyed, and then you search Feather Duster. It's just, like, so stupid, and it's never come up a single time in my life, but, like, it's definitely there. This needs to be Summon Limit. In my last round that we weren't even technically supposed to have, but I just wanted more testing, when I activated, I had Featherstorm and, like, a brick hand, but I had multiple ways to play next turn. I just didn't want to commit to it, given, like, the fact that it would just die to a hand trap and leave me with nothing. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to keep my resources, which sucks because now I have a Featherstorm that does nothing. But had it have been a Summon Limit, I had Sleeper and Quick Fix in my hand, so I could have slowly played the game, right? What I probably would have done was, he's playing Infernoble, which I know goes into extra deck monsters fairly easily that do nothing. Like, he commits 2 extra deck monsters that basically do nothing, but they just set up his combos. So what I could have done was I could have held the Summon Limit, waited for him to summon twice, and then flip the Summon Limit. And then by doing that, I could enable a Typhon on my turn, which could have helped equalize things. So if this was a Summon Limit, I don't know. I feel like this could have been a lot better. I'd probably cut this. Called by... I'm thinking of putting There Can Be Only One, just because that's really good into matchups like Rage Raptor, a bunch of rogue matchups. Obviously the Snake Eye decks, it doesn't hit them super hard, just because if they have Witch and what's it called, any Snake Eye, any normal summon, then they can just make SP, so you have to have something to address the SP. But this deck plays decently well into and around TCBoo, in the sense that if I've already set up my board, there's nothing on my board that's the same type. So I don't know. I might test it, but right now these are going to be Summon Limits 100%. These cards are garbage. Don't ever play them. And yeah, okay. So let's get into the siding patterns. First, let's do the easy one first. This is if we're going first. We're gonna just pretend these are Summon Limits. Do I have Summon Limits around here? No, okay. Well, we'll just pretend they're Summon Limits for now. And then Call By. So there you go. We got 5. Is there anything else? No. Okay. So pretty simply, all we are going to do here is those 3. It kind of just depends on the matchup. Depends on, like, what kind of matchup you want to go into. But typically I get rid of Veilers. I don't particularly like them. And maybe 2 Ash. The Ash would probably be Imperms. It just depends on the matchup. But generically, if I'm going into a matchup, these cards I don't want in my hand. I don't want going second cards. The thing is that I can already search Double Crow. So hand traps are just not superly important going second to me. So this is typically what I would take out. Going first is by far the easiest to side for. Obviously, you just take out hand traps. The harder part is going second. So if it is a back row matchup, I will pick these 5. or 6 rather, because prosperity is going to count as 1. And then if it's, say, runic stun, it's a really easy side out because I am not even going to play these. Well, you know what? I might play the imperms actually because that might be good to trade with a Pachycephalo or something. So it would probably be the crows then and utility wire because I'm going second. I don't want to see those in my hand. But like there's even an argument to keep the utility wire in and maybe like cut an agent instead. But yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I would end up doing, specifically just because I would rather utility wire in a slow game than agent. Yeah, so that would be like a back row heavy matchup. And then if I'm going into like a snake eye matchup, I'm going to value my hand traps a bit more. If it's pure, I probably won't play this, but if it's Fire King or Rescue Ace, even Rescue Ace kind of depends how they play. Like if they're a good player, Droll just isn't going to stop them. 2 Moonlit, so because even if it's not time, that's still a pretty good removal. I don't think I would put Tough into this matchup, but I have to think here. So let's just say Snake King or Snake Eye Fire King, right? So I would probably play this. I was thinking evenlies, but I feel like they can play around evenly pretty decently if they can establish an IP. A lot of Fire King players can just play around it by making a big Appaloosa or a big Link 4 of some kind. Yeah, so those, and then I would side out this. This is pretty much this is probably going to be your most common side out pattern, just specifically because you don't want more copies of Resort going second, in the sense that you're already drawing a 6th card, which increases the consistency of seeing Resort as it is. Not to mention you're putting in a prosperity that you're digging 6 deep into. And this package is really great, but going second, if you see, God forbid, both of these or just one of these cards, you're having a really rough time. So this is just the standard side out package. You're probably going to be doing this the most. You don't want to see utility wire, eagle, or salvation. And what's really cool is when you side out 3 of your deck's bricks, you pretty much only play Resort and Sleeper, which are the soft bricks of the deck. So your consistency already goes up. And now you're also playing, I believe, 11, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hand traps as well. Which into that matchup are all pretty good. I don't even think, like, even having Crow is not awful, for sure. So you can even, like... The problem is I don't like siding more than 6 cards. I feel like you brick way too much if you try to. So yeah, those are kind of the side down patterns. It's nothing insanely crazy, but I kind of wanted the the most like widespread coverage I could get. I would probably trade the Featherstorm for the summon limits though. I don't think I love Featherstorm. But what I'm discovering is that it's only good if you're already set up. If you can already play, Featherstorm's amazing. In which case, my logic is if I can already play, then why do I need to activate that card? Yeah, so let's start off. I'm going to show a couple combos here. We'll do the God combo first, I guess. Just to show, let's just say we have Machine Dude, Quick Fix, Goods. I'm just trying to make the most sculpted God hand I can possibly make. Alright. So this is what your best combo should look like. You should be playing through anywhere from 2 to 3 hand traps. Let's start with... first thing we're going to do is activate Resort. We're not going to do the search effect yet. There will be a reason for that. Right now we're respecting Droll. So we're going to normal, quick fix, no effects. We're going to go dupe. we're going to respect Droll and go chain link 1, chain link 2. So we are going to search drone, utility wire, and we're going to search drone. Now, if they Droll us, we are still going to be able to at least end on something with a lot of follow-up. So let's just say that they don't have any hand traps. So what would end up changing is the quick fix would just search car here. So assuming that, just showing that line to show you that you can play around Droll in certain lines. So that one, if we don't respect Droll, would have searched us the car. And then we'll go Spyral Resort effects. Well, I guess if they had Ash, they'd use it on the machine dupe. So we can rule out Imperm, Veiler, Mourner, machine dupe, Droll, which puts them specifically on having, I would say, Nib. They could also still have Imperm, Veiler, Mourner, but they're probably not going to use it on anything impactful. All right, so next up, we're going to go Helix. Then we are going to go quick fix effect. We're going to pitch the drone. We're going to go quick fix effect, search another drone. Basically, if you've ever played Thunder Dragons, the drones are more or less just your bullets. So thinking here, we'll go car, bring out drone, drone stack, then we'll go Helix effects. Since we already have sleeper, we can just bring out agents. It's always good to have an agent in rotation. We can then go overlay, since this is the one we special summoned. We're trying to put names in the grave right now. Go Starling, we'll go Starling effect, attach the quick fix. Search Crow. Unfortunately, if they have Nib, this is going to be not the worst thing ever, because we're still ending on trap plus sleeper. So like, honestly, Nib doesn't even matter at this point, because if you look at our hand right now, we have goods that we can send the Crystal Beast trap with, and then end up, we can then use the trap to get us into another resort. Resort gets us into last resort. And then now we have sleeper, trap, and then a super agent, and we already know what the top card of their deck is, which means we also end up on drone follow-up with resort follow-up. So we have basically 3 monster removals through hand traps, and they've already gone through one of the cards in their hand. So okay, so we search the thing here. We'll go quick fix effects. We'll pitch another drone. We'll go effect a quick fix, search drone. You play 7 targets for quick fix, and as you see right now, you're going to be playing through all of them. Go into Recital Starling, effect a Starling. Now we have double hand trap as well. That way, if they get really greedy holding that Nib, we'll have double hand trap in addition to our end board. And right now we have 7 cards in hand, so we are already, with just the hand alone, we're +2. So we'll think here. We've already gone through car, which is unfortunate. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to do this. We'll go into IP. We will use quick fix again, pitching drone. We go quick fix effect. I think we are out of drones, which leaves us with 2 targets. So we will add the car for follow-up next turn. Speaking more on to playing through Nib, if I was actually paying attention, I would have searched this as early as possible in addition to the other car, because that way if we get hit with Nib, this can act as follow-up with our drone while still ending on a board with multiple interruptions. So let's see. We'll banish the one quick fix there. Go into an Appaloosa. I like making this at random times each time, Reason being is because they might not nib. Like in game 2 and 3, they might nib too early if I threaten this, and then sometimes they'll get too greedy, and I'll make this usually in a different combo line than I normally do to kind of, you know, kind of like surprise them a little bit, because I find like a lot of people, they pay attention to the combo line specifically when you make Appaloosa before they nib. So I tend to make Appaloosa a bit earlier in games 2 and 3. So this Appaloosa has 3 negates. It doesn't hold spell counters, but just to show you. Now there's a few things we can do in this position. We could bring back our quick fixes. We still need to search last resort. But considering I don't actually want to waste any of my quick fixes, I'm just going to go goods, banish salvation, add this, and add this. What's really cool with the Cobalt Eagle that I didn't think of until the tournament was that you could technically play multiple bridge, because you can just you can actually play multiple bridge because you can just recycle this with resort. So like, I don't know, I probably wouldn't do it, but it's still a funny interaction. So we'll play a resort over resort effect. We're gonna search last resort here. Of course we could have used our quick fix to search, but there's no point in doing that. Just because we don't have a better search off resort right now. So we're then going to special sleeper, banish resort, banish the car, and then we can choose to banish something else. I think I'll banish quick fix. After turn 1 and all your targets are searched, quick fixes hold a lot less value, to the point where you only need to keep 1 in rotation, either in deck or in graveyard. So right now we'll banish those, bring out sleeper, equip sleeper with last resort, and then we'll set the utility wire. And then just for more follow-up here, we'll banish the drone and the drone to add back the super agent from the grave, just to get a bit more pluses here. So the end of the turn here, we have a pretty decent setup, I would say. We have a 3-mat Appaloosa, double helix, sleeper, utility wire. There was a line I could have went. This is actually specifically for a Snake Eye board, specifically because I don't like leaving IP on field. I feel like it's, since they play so much non-engine, the chance of them having like an imperm for it is pretty annoying. Even imperming the Appaloosa is kind of rough, but I feel like this kind of beats everything they have. Plus we have double DD Crow, so the board looks deceivingly like minimalist, but you have to remember we have 2 pops, utility wire, double crow, 3 negates, and then follow up through resort, follow up through helix, technically through the trap, and then we have double super agent in hand to enable our double helix, as well as we have this, and we have a quick fix engrave. So we have insane levels of follow-up, a decent amount of interruptions that are generic enough that they can hit just every single deck. And also sleeper is just a really good card. Most decks, they require 2 cards on board to do anything. So just removing those 2 cards is a really good way. Now, before I let you guys go, I know this is a longer video, but I kind of wanted it to be as comprehensive as possible when it comes to this deck. Because I don't want you guys to like net deck the deck and then be surprised why the deck isn't working for you. So I'm going to show you what a brick looks like in this deck, like the best case scenario. So let's just say we have 2 hand traps here. You know what, let's go, just for the sake of argument, let's just say we have 4 hand traps, okay? Let's just say we are just not, straight up just not having a good time. Okay, so we draw our 5 cards. These could be any cards. For this example, like on average, you'll see about 1 to 2 hand traps. But these are more or less just blanks. These other 2 cards could be anything you want. So you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So let's put these back and just give me 2 bricks here. Last Resort, Sleeper. So these cards are going to do nothing on their own. Then you got the Quick Fix, Veiler, or the Veiler Ash, and then these 2. Which was basically my turn, which was basically my hand against Branded Chimera, and I still won. So you're going to go normal summon, you're going to go effect, you're going to search Car, you're going to go Link Karibo, you're going to go Car, search a Quick Fix, effect, search Car. And you're going to go Link 2 into SP. And then you are going to pass. And that's what, I mean, it's pretty simple, but like people don't see this line a lot of the time for some reason. So basically what you have here is what you could have, like, I shouldn't have added Last Resort because there's actually a way to summon Sleeper, funny enough, because I didn't actually have Last Resort against Branded Chimera. So this was a bad brick to add. But yeah, so even if you have to end on this board, like that's still 3 interruptions, right? Like, and it's most likely a threatening roar too, because they have to deal with the knight, so they might just beat over it. But having Ash Veiler just can pass a lot of turns if utilized correctly. The reason I said I shouldn't have added Last Resort is what I could have done technically is I could have went this, search Car, go this into Link Karibo, use Car, special Quick Fix, attach Last Resort to Quick Fix, and then go into SP. And then what I could have done was I now have 3 Spyral cards. I could have specialed Sleeper. And then I could have still ended on Sleeper SP. Like, see, like this deck really rewards like thinking ahead or like thinking critically. So yeah, so I just wanted to show off a few test hands here of like your worst case situation. Technically speaking, your worst case situation is you just open 5 unplayable cards, but like the problem with this deck is, yeah, like this. If you just open this, you still have 5 hand traps. So like the deck doesn't hard brick like I would say Orcus does. I don't know. I think the deck's a very solid meta choice. Sorry for the video being so long. I just wanted to go really in depth. I really like this deck a lot, and I kind of wanted to go over the technical aspects of it. So thanks. Have a good one. Bye.